Hello, welcome. Let me take care of my little Instagram friends. Click that go live for them. Hello, welcome. Let me take care of my little Instagram friends. Click that go live for them. There we go. That's all you needed was to hear the repeat of that, wasn't it? Oh, this is so fun. Welcome. I'm glad you're here today. This is so fun to have you. I am Kathy Freeman with Kathy Freeman Art. I have a community called My Art Sisters. And this week, this wonderful week, I have opened the doors and we're welcoming in new artists to come and join us. So I hope you're seeing my emails and are able to click over and check it out. If you are not finding those emails, look in your spam folder. I know they go to a lot of things that people send me go to my spam folder. So I know that they go to your spam folder. Also, it'll be under Kathy Freeman Art. Just click that in your little address of, the little find area and see what pops up for you. Also, my menopause brain is clicking in here. This week, we're finishing up some of our projects that we have for the month of August. Can you believe that this month is almost over with? This is just blowing my mind. Whew. I don't know if I can stand it. Let's see if I've got those close by here. I don't see those, but we've had some fun projects. I do see a few of them right here. These last few months that we've done. We like to paint with acrylics. We love to use watercolor. This here is a project that we did a while back. And I do this as I like to use anything that kind of creates a 3D effect. And so this is actual stitching on the watercolor. That's a fun thing to do. We've got coming up in September. So that's why I'm excited to tell people about these projects. I am just thrilled with teaching them. I upload the classes into a library so you can get to the classes anytime that's convenient for you. They'll go up. I schedule them out on a calendar. And every Monday, there's usually something. There's 3 projects that are given to the members each month, plus other things that are, I don't want to get this complicated, but there's a lot of other stuff in there too. But 3 main projects, and I schedule them on a Monday and upload them into the library so that they kind of spread them out and they don't just get everything dumped at them at once. This is one of the first projects we will be doing in September. This is an acrylic painting. So much fun. I found that as I was working on this project, I was actually going through kind of a tender moment in my life. I have a younger brother that passed last year, and his birthday was last week. And as I was creating this class, I found that it was a little bit more of a struggle for me to paint, but the more that I created, the more that I painted, the better I felt. It just started lifting some of that grief, the heaviness. You all have gone through it, I'm sure. And so I found that this project took me a little longer than it normally does, but I realized why it did. And I was so grateful that I have the ability to use the art skills and the things that God's given to me to be creative, to help me process through some of these challenges that we face. All right, here's another project. This one is actually acrylic also, but I watered it down because I wanted to use the acrylic and watercolor mixed together. And so these are aspen trees, and it's just I had so much fun with this one. Also, this is kind of a signature thing I love to do. If you can see it, the leaves are outlined in white pen. And I love that. That's just a technique that I like to do a lot of times with my artwork. This is our 3rd project that I'll be presenting in September. And this beautiful bird in the autumn leaves of the tree here. And this is all watercolor. And I was going to do it acrylic. So I always encourage my community to choose what they feel like using. The steps are pretty close to the same. Watercolor is a little different, obviously, than acrylic. But they could do the same thing with acrylic that I teach them as I'm going through with watercolor. I wanted this project to be a little quicker for the community. I didn't want it to be quite as extensive. These acrylic paintings tend to take a little longer. Sometimes I break them up into 2 sections, 2 different weeks, so that it's not just all of a sudden this long project to do. And it gives them time. Things need to dry so that you can keep working on them. With each of the projects, I always create a template, something that they can print off and follow and transfer the image onto either a canvas, or I always use watercolor paper or canvas. That's basically what I use in my community. And I like to give them different sizes because one of my students, one of our community members, she takes hers, creates it, and makes cards that she sells. And I just love that. She has sent me some of her cards and they are beautiful. So there are so many things you can do to share, which is part of my slogan, as far as what My Art Sisters is all about. We are what I consider heart keepers. We are women that are basically the center of the emotional heart of the community or our families or whatever. And we kind of tend to keep things together. And because we do that, we ourselves need time to be able to take a breath and step away and recharge ourselves. And that's why I offer this for my community and for out there for y'all to give you a moment. I want to show you with another, also this month we had a teenager daughter that passed. And so this was a little card. I decided for her this year, I wanted to make her a card. And so I just watercolored and I didn't have anything in mind per se to start with. I didn't follow a template or anything like that. I just let the colors flow. And that's what's so neat about when you're using watercolors. I love to watch how the colors will blend, how the colors blend with each other and they mix and mingle. And to me, that's always fascinating. It's like a little treasure hunt to see what on earth is this going to do. It's a journey is what it is. But it's also just a way of expressing those emotions and being able to just relax and let things release themselves. Welcome. We've got more. Hi, Joanne. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for saying hello to me. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. This was another project that we did here in the past on this little acrylic sunflower. Today, I'm going to show you a really quick video of how I created this right here, this watercolored butterfly. And this butterfly, I just hand sketched. So when I start the video, I've already got it sketched on my paper. Well, how did I sketch this? What I did is I took the center, decided about where I wanted the butterfly to be on the paper. I did it in 2 sections, actually 3. You've got the little round one up here for the head. And I don't know the names of these. Are they thorax? I don't know what they are. It's been way too long since I took that science class. Anyway, I've got this little part right here and then the longer one that comes down. And so I created those first. And then I came back and as I did the wings, I wanted it to come off the page. I'm actually using this for one of the pages in this particular I did for my art sisters. We've got another area in the community that's called Grow Joy. It's to help them journal and to give them some guidance and that to just kind of refresh themselves every day. And so I wanted to use this on one of these cards that I made for that, particularly for the members. So I wanted it to come off the page. That's why I did that. So I created this wing first, and then came back and created this wing. I went to this side and did the top one. And then I created the bottom one and let it come off the page so that it didn't just feel like it was just, a centered piece right there. It filled up the whole thing. And this watercolor you're going to find is very, very easy. I came back in after and I did the line work. You can do the pen work before you start. You can do it after, whatever you prefer. So that's what I'll be sharing with you here in just a second. Next week, I just finished up this little project to share with you next week, and this little bird's nest. So that's going to be fun. Last week, if you joined me last week, we went ahead and I shared how to create this little bird right here. And all this is done in watercolor, and it's easy, quick projects that you can do. So any questions that we have so far? Remember, if you're interested in joining my Art Sisters, the doors are open. So go to kathyfreemanart.com and there'll be a place on there where you can click and find out more, see what it is actually that we do, see some of the pictures of the projects that are already in the library ready to go. I have a membership page, a web page that is called the Little Art Village, and it is expanding and growing. This project right here, let's see if I can get this off. I keep seeing this. This is one of my favorites ones we just did. And this one was done with acrylic paint, but I took them through a period of working with collaging on tissue paper and other papers. So the background of this is completely collaged. And then the mountains are defined and the sunflowers are painted on top. And so this is a project that we did last year that is already in the library. So if you're already a member of My Art Sisters, you can look that sunflower up and find that one. And I look forward to sharing this one coming up. Like I said, this one is going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be doing this one the very first week of September for My Art Sisters. So it'll be in your library ready to go for you to create that project. All right, so let's take a moment, and I want to just downsize me and bring this one up a little larger, and I'm going to walk you through how I created it. I'm in the beginning here. I'm actually, like I showed you, I am sketching out the wings. And I just freehanded and I took my time. And then I have this pen, which I'm not really crazy about these pens. You don't get a lot of wear, out of them. You don't, but it's a masking pen. And it works beautifully when you first get it. But you have to use it a lot and quite frequently. If it sits for any period of time, then it tends to dry itself out. And so my favorite, I guess I should say, would be rubber cement. That's what we used in college. That's what I was taught with. I know it's not something that is easy to get a hold of anymore, rubber cement, but I found it to work the best. Now, what I'm going to start with on this particular butterfly is just laying down a nice quick wash. And I've allowed that. I gave a few minutes for that masking. You need to let it dry. And the neat thing about the masking is this particular brand is it turns blue and then you can tell where it's at. But I'll tell you the truth, gals, it is a mess to get off. I used some, what did I use it on just this week? Oh, let me see here. Where is it? Oh, well, I'll show you afterwards, but I used it on this other project. I'll show that to you afterwards, but it was really hard to get off. So I'm not going to promote that per se, but I wanted to just tell you that's what you see me using. So this little butterfly has these little markings in it. And I chose to go ahead and get those markings in and then paint the little body and get it all done first. And I I'm playing back and forth with this. A lot of times when I do these projects I'm sharing with you are projects that are just for me. They are a period of time where I am relaxing and experimenting and having a good time. So grab your watercolors, put down a shape, and just start playing with it. Some artists who are more professional in watercolors are very picky about certain things. I use it because I like the speed of it, but meaning what I mean by that is it's easy, it's quick to lay down, it's quick to create something with it. But what I love the most is the fact that it just flows. And it's not a medium that you can control it, but I find a lot of times for myself, the beauty shows up when I let it flow and I just let it do its own thing. Let the colors kind of blend together, mix together. If you feel like it, go ahead and put in the comments what you love to do. If you use watercolors often, what's your favorite part of the playing with watercolors? I find that with the watercolors also, it's all about the layering, isn't it? Getting those colors on top of each other and being patient. It does require a little bit of patience. You've got to let it dry in between those layers if you want it to have a certain look about it. But it's a great medium for if you're doing any kind of illustration, anything like that. It's a beautiful medium. It's probably one of my favorites to use when I'm talking with the members, the community about any kind of relaxation. If I'm going into a group and I'm demonstrating to them how they can use art as a time for rejuvenation, this probably the easiest and the one that I love to use the most to demonstrate with. Now I'm just continuing to play back and forth with this blue and layering a little more on it because I'm creating some shadows, some variation in it. I'm going to add now a bit of a turquoise. It's a blue-green. I want the color scheme to be an analogous color scheme, basically, because I want that cool feeling. I want the feeling of just relaxation and peacefulness. Hello, KR. This is the first time I have seen you. I am glad you are here. Tell me where you're from. So glad you're joined in with us here today. So as you can see with these two wings so far, I've done quite a few layers on this. And I have sped this up just because when I paint, I take my time and I kind of doodle a little bit and go back and forth. But I know as someone sitting here watching this, you don't have a lot of time to sit there and watch me doodle in that. So sometimes I speed these up so that you can get the general idea of what's going on. Now, what's happening now is the wet on dry. So everything down here has dried and the paint that I am applying is wet. So it'll have, because it's coming in more pure, it's not being diluted with as much water. I can get quite a bit more strong value going on here because it's really about being able to create those different values, isn't it? The shades, the lights, the darks that grab our eye, and it creates such interest in our art pieces, isn't it? One thing I have to be careful of, and this is one of my weaknesses, is I can be enjoying what I'm doing so much that either one, well, it's not so much that I overwork it, but I take away from that variety that's been created. I start putting too much on, and then it just also I have to then go back and create that dark area more intensely or something. Whereas, so I'm really working with myself to just stop and breathe and just take a moment, not try to overwork it. I'm adding a blue violet here. It's actually a purple. You can call it a purple if you want. And I'm drying it just to get it to dry quicker. The proper way is to walk away and let your art dry naturally. But I'll use my little heat gun and dry that. And I was drying the back of it because the moisture goes through that paper. And as you dry the back, it tends to flatten it out. I'm looking at it here and just deciding, okay, what else do I need to do to it? What else do I want to add to it? Now I start to, you can rub it off. But like I said, the masking from that pen, it leaves, I don't know, it doesn't come off real easily. So I've grabbed an eraser, which works really well with it. And there again, if you can get a hold of rubber cement, if you are able to find that and use that, I recommend using rubber cement. But these masking pens are really nice because you can get the finer details. And that's what I did with this, is I added some masking in just little areas so that I could preserve the white paper. And that's something I think that's key when you're doing watercolor, is to mask off areas. Preserve that white. Now, it ended up taking off quite a bit more of the color here than what I intended for it to do. And then plus the fact that I'm having to use an eraser is literally lifting some of that paint up. So I'm going to come back in and just retouch up these areas. And because I've painted this in such a loose form and it's very free flowing, then it doesn't affect the overall look of it at all. As a matter of fact, looking at it, you can't tell that I ran into that bit of a challenge. Don't you find in your art that those things that maybe are more challenging, that create a little bit of a struggle, it's like you're going uphill with it, I don't know, turn out beautifully? It's like it just, you work a little bit more at it and it's transforms into something that you didn't even expect it to transform into. And there we are, completely finished with it. Let me go back here, lift that. So that is the demonstration, and my encouragement for you today as you begin to get out your paper and your art is to grab some watercolors, little piece of paper, trace on, just sketch on a form. Even if you want to do something, I can tell you this was so much fun to do. This is one of the projects for my sisters, and it really was just let the colors flow. Let the colors flow. I wanted it to be organic, so I kind of had the image, the impression. It's an impressionistic of flowers and leaves, and then adding, once it dried, adding the fiber in that to it, stitching on here, just free stitching. This right here is not glue. What am I saying? That's actually paint that I dabbed on there to create that texture. So it's really about creating the texture, isn't it? And that's why I love mixed media. Okay, in closing here, I wanted to share with you this project that we are doing next week. I used the masking on this to try to preserve the white here and a few areas on the wings. And it was virtually impossible to get that off. So I had to come back in and do a few things to rectify that and to change that. So that's, I just want to give you that example. I'm not singing praises for masking pens. All right. Thank you so much for joining me this week. And if you would love to be in our community, go to kathyfreemanart.com. You can click on My Art Sisters and it'll tell you all about it. It's the doors are open this week only. And then I close them down because we've just focused strictly. It's easier for me to do that than keep it open all the time, welcoming people in. I like to just open it, welcome, and then we all get going in the same direction. But in the library, for those that are joining this week and waiting to do these new projects, there are, well, there's many years, but I've kept in there the past 2 years worth of projects. So there's much to choose from in there to play and learn and experiment with. Remember, it is fun to do art with other people. So if you love to create and you create in any form, you can call yourself an artist and bring that gift that you have and share it with others. Take time to create. Use your art to rejuvenate yourself, renew your spirit, and share it to inspire others. All right. I encourage you to do this, and I will see you again next week. I'm Kathy Freeman, kathyfreemanart.com. Have a really great day, y'all. Take care.